Hey everyone, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where today it is time to continue our trip up to Zenith. Minion Roulette is giving us for the day Buffalo Calf, hello there. And I want to say before we get started, at the end of this week, we'll be halfway through Heavensward's main story. It's going a lot faster than A Realm Reborn did, isn't it? Yeah, A Realm Reborn is by far, like, the biggest expansion in the game in terms of the number of quests you gotta do. Later expansions still have, like, a pretty reasonable length. They're about 20 to 40 hours each, depending on how much side content you do. At least for the initial release of each expansion. So, like, there's still, like, decent, good releases with each expansion, but they're nowhere near as bulky as A Realm Reborn was. Yeah, people did not like how drawn out A Realm Reborn was, and I disagree, but I can see where they're coming from. Alright, before we get started, I got a PvP series reward. I've been working on the PvP on my own time in order to get those rewards, and I got a new emote, Feigning Fainting. This is the first reward for PvP series, what series are we on? 7? 8. We're on series 8, which is the series that's going with patch 7.2. Our new emote, Feigning Fainting, is over here in the special emotes, which means it loops, and it gives us Dazed. That's a fun emote. That could be really good for roleplay. Alright then, with that, Mughan, let's get started. Mughan seems fretful about the weather. We may have a small problem, Kupo. When the winds are high like this, Hraesvelgr invariably abandons his lofty perch and heads to the lands below to hunt. If you tried blowing the horn now, I doubt he'd hear it. I suggest we stop at the clearing up ahead and rest until the wind dies down. Rest it is, then. Fair enough, I suppose. Okay, seriously, please give me a better mount than that. That is the one mount in the game that I do not like. It's too big, too bright, takes up too much of the screen. It is a neat mount, but it is very bad in terms of gameplay. Especially if you like to play zoomed in to actually see your character, which, to be fair, on that mount, you can't see your character at all because you transform into the mount. Hey, no, back off. None of that. Alright, where is this clearing we're meeting at? Down this way? Let's climb up this side. And there's everybody. Hello. Oh, yes, this quest. Oh, this quest, lives in infamy. Not in a bad way. Let's just say that people remember this quest very fondly. The fates make mock of us to be so close. And now the very elements conspire to delay our meeting with Hraesvelgr. I must be patient. Who can say when the weather will turn? I have a mind to make camp. Sounds reasonable. This should do nicely, Kupo. The winds will likely have died down by tomorrow, but until then, we might as well make ourselves comfortable. If we must interrupt our journey so close to its end, I suppose this place is as good as any. And mayhap a brief respite from the hardships of the road will help to clear our minds in readiness for the coming parley. Very well then, I believe a campfire is in order. Leave the gathering of fuel to me. I acquired a keen nose for firewood during my time in the frozen wastes of Kurthus. I'm sure you did, Alphino. Clear our minds? 'Tis Master Alphino whose mind needs clearing. The thought of meeting a great worm in the flesh has befuddled the boy. Did you see him stroll away as if these ruins were not crawling with deadly beasts? Follow him, Satora, and see whether the wildlife does not make a meal of our young friend. We will have the camp ready by the time you return. Alright, I can keep an eye on him for sure. Do you see that sculpture to the west of here? I am all but certain it was carved in the likeness of Saint Shiva. Up there? I don't... Oh, up there. Yeah, I think you pointed that one out before as well. Master Alphino's artless quest for firewood is like to get him killed. I suggest you follow after the boy and see that no harm comes to him. Alright, before we go out to check on Alphino, I did notice that our Chocobo companion Juniper has hit rank 19. We are so close to maxing out, which means we now have 13 more SP that we can spend, giving us enhanced strength, and we don't have quite enough for anything else. Don't worry, the very last rank will give us the points we need to fill in these last two skills, giving us increased HP and Choco Strike. Soon Juniper will be maxed out. But we're gonna have to wait. The last Thavnarian onion we need is going to come from a side quest here in Heavensward. We're coming up to it shortly. We should get it within the next month or so, hopefully. We'll see how long it takes. Alright, let's go make sure anything threatening to attack Alphino has been dealt with. Hello there. Amelia Matron. Why are they called Melias here? Tree Ant makes sense to me. It at least sounds like tree, but why Melia? If someone could actually explain the etymology of the Melias, that I would actually be interested in that. Ow. Alright, let's go find any more that may be after Alphino. I haven't seen Alphino himself. Where is he? Though these Skylords could stand to chill out a bit. Really, we're mostly just fighting Melias around here. Okay. Wait, this is west of his location. The other one was east, so he's probably like right on that platform in the middle there. Go away, Skylord. Please go away. I'm just gonna run away and eventually it'll leave me alone, surely. So he was probably up here somewhere and I just... Oh, there he is. Hello, Alphino. How goes the hunt? Leave the firewood to me. You sure are confident about this. Do you hear a cat meowing in the background? I am back. She forgot where I was and couldn't find anybody, and was very sad about it. She is now up on my desk. I was about to say she is on my desk threatening to cause problems, but she caused problems. She stopped the recording. Alright then, well, that's living with cats. Don't you dare do it again. You be careful. Okay, let's go meet up with everyone else now that we've dealt with the enemies threatening Alphino. Okay, Cat, do I need to... I know I just brought you into my room because you were very sad. Do I need to remove you now? I sure took a very circuitous path to get back to the camp. Alright, hello there, Azael and Estinian. I prepared some things for a meal. It will be plain fare, but better than empty bellies. True. You know, Estinian may not be as bad as I thought, Kupo. Under all those horrid spikes, he actually has a soft spot for his companions. Just a small one, mind, and oh, don't tell him I told you, alright? Don't worry, I will bully him relentlessly. He will hate it. I see I was right to worry about the boy's safety. Once Alphino returns with the wood, we can see about supper. The Ice Queen has filled the pot with what looked like stew ingredients ready for the fire. Few things compared to the simple pleasure of sitting beside a crackling campfire of one's own making. He's so proud of himself. Ha! So speaks the great explorer. Until recently, you wouldn't have recognized firewood if it came with kindling and a flint. 'Tis well you have instructed me so patiently, but then. But yes, left to my own devices, I would have been compelled to signal to Hraesvelgr with a pile of damp leaves. I was born the pampered son of a Charlian dignitary, and alongside my twin, became the youngest student ever to be accepted into the studium. How proud I was to match wits with scholars and philosophers. How ignorant of mine own shortcomings. That hubris invited manipulation and betrayal, and led to the downfall of the Scions. We all of us are guilty of similar ignorance. How many men lay down their lives never knowing what it is they fight for, never questioning that which they have been taught to believe? 'Twas only upon meeting Hraesvelgr that I learned the truth hidden within our history. Were it not for that chance encounter, I would never have vowed to tear down the Holy See and expunge the falsehoods with which it fans the flames of conflict. I would have lived and died in ignorance. That the truth has driven me to do terrible things I cannot deny. But I would rather sin in the pursuit of peace than imagine myself virtuous for perpetuating a needless war. If this journey has taught me anything, it is the importance and difficulty of holding to one's convictions in the face of failure, of striving always to replace one's ignorance with knowledge. You are well on your way, Master Alphino. At your age, I was but a fool swinging a spear, with scarcely a thought in my head. Even now, I struggle to acknowledge the misconceptions under which I have labored. Sitting here amongst these grand ruins, how can I deny that man and dragon once lived in peace? But for all that such an age existed, we are now in a time of war. Nidhogg killed my family, and no quirk of history will exonerate him. I may be ignorant of how the Dragonsong War began, but if we do not put an end to this conflict now, I can say for a certainty that it will only breed more vengeful souls such as mine. Maybe he's not a lost cause then. In my hands resides the power to vanquish a great worm. If Ishgard's survival rests on me wielding that power, I will slay Nidhogg myself. Orders or no. Estinian, you gave your word! My word is contingent upon the success of our parley. Show me the strength of your convictions, Lady Icehearts. Convince Hraesvelgr of the righteousness of your cause. Doubt not but that I shall, Dragoon. Well, winds willing, we shall have our answers on the morrow. Let us sleep now and face our fate with the rising of the sun. It's just a really good set of character moments for all three of them. Alphino acknowledging his mistakes and how he's trying to do better. Estinian acknowledging that maybe history is more complicated than he thought. And Hraesvelgr even seems to be warming up to Estinian a little bit. There was a smile on her face at the end there. She will prove to her strength, the strength of her convictions, and she will put an end to the war. Peacefully, ideally. And it does seem like she, at least to an extent, understands where Estinian's coming from. The war needs to end. And we get a mount speed increase. Next time on Final Fantasy XIV, our level 53 Culinarian quest. Then we're going to take on our level 54 Dark Knight quest, and then we will finally hit the halfway point of Heavensward. I will see everyone next time for that.